We're here with Elliot Grudem. He is the pastor of Christ the King Presbyterian Church, an Acts 29 church, and he's agreed to give us some time today to talk about some things that are unique to him. You've edited a great book. I hand it out in our church all the time called Christian Beliefs. Tell me, what's your burden for getting that content to people?
Christians want to know more about God. They want to know more about their Bible. And they want to know that which is in their Bible has real application to their life. And that's really what doing theology is. It's applying Scripture to life.
Right.
And so the burden of Christian Beliefs was to take what's an excellent work, my father's systematic theology book, and really bring it down to a pretty accessible level, so that just kind of the average member of the congregation, though I think my dad's systematic theology book is actually quite accessible, but it can be intimidating just because of the size.
Right.
So bring it down to a level that kind of the ordinary average Christian, the average member of your church, can think about things, can think about what does the whole of Scripture teach about this specific subject, but find it in an accessible way, and hopefully it'll whet their appetite and encourage them to think more about it and study more and get them to read their Bible more and ask more questions. And what does the Scripture have to say about this specific subject in my life?
Well, you mentioned being Wayne Grudem's son.
Yeah.
What is that like, and how do you handle that?
Yeah. Well, it's great. I love my dad. He's a great dad, and it's always nice to have on Saturday nights when you're struggling with a passage, to have a good resource on speed dial.
You can call Wayne Grudem.
Right. Absolutely. How do I handle it? A number of years ago, when I was looking for a position, trying to figure out what the Lord, where the Lord wanted me to kind of serve in ministry, I was talking to a good friend of mine, Crawford Loritz, who's a pastor down in Atlanta, and just talking about some of that struggles. What does it mean to be my father's son and apply for ministry positions? And he said, Elliot, I'll tell you the same thing I told my son. You've got two options. You can either try to run from his shadow your whole life and never escape it, or you can leverage that for kingdom ministry. Which one do you want to choose? Well, that was kind of an easy decision. It gives me opportunity, gives me access, and I'm thankful for the legacy I have and the privilege of being his son. And then I want to use that. That's just one of the things that the Lord now, the last name is something the Lord has now given me to steward. And so if that's part of the way, if that's what the Lord's seen fit to give me, I want to figure out how I can steward that well, in a way that really honors the Lord, and builds His church and advances the kingdom.
That's great. Well, the situation that you're in at Christ the King is a replant.
That's correct.
And a number of guys who will be watching this will be in that exact situation. Yeah. What are some of the unique challenges or things that you've learned along the way in your own experience?
Yeah, there have been a number of challenges doing a replant. One of my professors said that to replant a church takes a church planter plus, which frightened me going into it because I wasn't even sure I was a church planter, let alone a church planter plus. But I think what he means by that is you not only have to have, you're not only planting the church, but you're also pastoring the group that's there. And so what you have is once you've got a church that's failed, you have a small kind of contingent left, and as you come into that, it's not a group that's been attracted to you or to your vision. It's a group that's been attracted to a church that is in a rough patch. So usually you find that it's a group that has been without pastoral care for some period of time because the former pastor has left. And it's a group that just has been committed to or came into and was attracted to a vision for a church that, for whatever reason, didn't quite take. So challenges, and this is kind of where the Church Planter Plus comes in. Responsibility number one is 1 Peter 5. You've got to shepherd the flock that the Lord has given you. Shepherd the flock that's under your care, and so you've got to care for these people. But as you're caring for them, you have to, since you're replanting the church, you have to then, both with that group and for a group of outsiders that are coming in, you have cast a vision for something new that's different, at least for the core group, than maybe what they're initially used to or what they signed on for.
Sure.